Hello everyone, I'm Blackheart, and today I'm going to be talking about my fantasy novel, Gvera, Book of Beginnings. So, this is the book I started writing when I was 16, but for certain reasons I've only published it this year. It's a fantasy novel that has a lot of magic, it features teenage protagonists. It's intended for young adult readers, but I wouldn't recommend it for people who are younger than 14. There's some fight scenes and violence involved, so probably not good for people who are sensitive to these kinds of things. So, Gvera, the titular protagonist, is a young witch who has lived with her dad's clan. And wizards are very much nomadic wanderers who just go all over the world from place to place, and they kind of live together in a clan. They don't really interact much with people outside of sometimes needing to go to towns to buy food or other supplies, and she's pretty much lived a sheltered life until one day when she's about to turn 16. According to the wizard law, the oldest child has to leave the clan and start their own, so being close to 16 makes Gvera the oldest child, and her father, being the leader, has to send her away. And suddenly she is out in the world all by herself after having lived her entire life with her dad and the wizards. And there's people in this world who hate magic and would pretty much hunt down magic users, so it's kind of dangerous to reveal to anyone that you're magical, and she's now alone and trying to figure out what to do, and while wandering the forests, trying to find something to do, she runs into a boy who belongs to a completely different magical community far north in the lands of Kalmer. This boy kind of becomes a companion to her, and they talk a bit, figure out they're from different magical communities, but they've lived, well, kind of similarly, and they decide to travel together. And then at night, they get attacked by something, by a monster that is not supposed to be in this world. A monster that comes from beyond life. Monster that comes from death. It's a death creature, and they're very much not supposed to be out in the open. They're creatures that exist within the realm of death, and they're not supposed to be walking our world freely. And Gvera's read about them in books, and she realizes that a necromancer must have summoned it and unleashed it upon the world, and that obviously means that they're planning to do something nefarious with it. So this is the start, and from this point the duo become very concerned for their own safety, but they also need to know what's really going on if they're going to find someone and tell them that there's monsters in the woods and what's going on. And this also kind of spirals into them trying to figure out a lot of different other things. This is kind of a coming of age story, and I'm going to continue, but first I have an announcement. I got some really great news to tell you guys. If this got you interested in my book, then this is definitely an announcement you'll want to hear. Hello guys, Blackheart here with an announcement. So, I have some exciting news for all of you. You may not know this, but I'm actually a writer. I've recently published my book. And right now, we've gotten some
beautiful cover updates, and to celebrate that, I'm having a 50% sale on my coffee shop. That's right, 50% off, half the price, for both my fantasy novel Gvera Cross and a collection of short horror stories to celebrate their brand new beautiful covers. They're electronic books. There's no print currently, but they are available both in electronic book and PDF formats. You can download them to your computer, to your tablet, to your phone, carry them with you, read them while you're on the bus to work, read them if you're on the plane traveling somewhere. So they're very convenient, they don't take up much space, and you can take them with you wherever you go. Also, we have memberships now available on Ko-fi. It's a website that is similar to Patreon, but it's a lot less known. It's just newer, not as popular as Patreon, but it has all the same things. So you can now become a member on one of the tiers and subscribe to me monthly. I post a lot of subscribers only stuff. There's discounts available for subscribers. You can get from 3% at the lowest tier to 15% on the highest tier. So right now, if you become a subscriber on the highest tier, you can add that 15% discount that's always going to be there for all the shop items to that 50% discount and get a 65% off.
This is the brand new official cover, and let's carry on. So, after meeting the boy Solian and encountering the deaf creature in the woods, Gvera kind of goes on this journey to, of course, stop this necromancer, and she ends up encountering people and things she didn't know about. This is very much also a coming-of-age story. Yes, it has magic, it has a lot of fight scenes, but Gvera ends up discovering a lot of things about herself and some things about the world that she never, thought about. Things that she's only up till now read in fantasy stories. Well, fantasy to them, they have their own version of it, which is stories of heroes and monsters that existed thousands of years ago when gods still lived among men and strange beings walked the surface of the world, and those were completely different times. But yeah, there's an ancient scheme going on that's been going on for thousands of years, and by getting involved with this random incident in the woods and trying to do the right thing, it seems that Gvera and Solian have both ended up right in the middle of it. And when you're that deep into something, it becomes pretty hard to get out of it. So two random teenagers find a monster in the woods and end up caught in an ancient scheme that's been going on for millennia. And yeah, that's pretty much the sum up. I'm not gonna tell you more. If you want to know, you're gonna have to read about it. Yeah, so I had a lot of fun writing this book. It was my first book, my full-length novel, the first one that I decided to write, and it was a great learning experience to me. It was really fun working with it, and I hope you have fun reading it. I hope you have an amazing time if you decide to pick this book up. It has a lot of twists and turns and ups and downs, and I don't know. I wrote the kind of story that I used to read as a kid and a teenager, the kind of stories that I loved reading which had magic, fantasy, and usually teenage protagonists. So back then I didn't know that it was a genre called young adult literature, but yeah. So yeah, if you love fantasy and magic and you're a fan of young adult literature, regardless whether you're an adult or a teenager or a young person, so I hope you have a blast reading this book. And if you did pick it up and read it, I would appreciate you to leave a comment or write a review. And yeah, have fun, keep reading, keep dreaming, and I'll see you guys in the next one.